I like it.
Yeah, better than the last couple.
Yeah. Do you listen to music out loud or earbuds?
We used to just have a big, like a big sound system, but now we all have different tastes, so just earbuds.
Oh, okay.
It also helps with killing the sound of the machines.
Yeah. Is there an element of weapons making that you enjoy the most, and why?
Oh, I like the last bit of it, peening the pommel one, which is where you hammer the tang over the pommel. The very last bit where it's the very last step, and then it's done. I absolutely love that. I fight to be the one who does that on every piece.
Really?
Yeah, I try. It doesn't always happen, but I try.
Yeah. How did you start weapons making, and why do you continue?
Honestly, Kerry's my older brother. He's the founder of Ball and Rifle Sword. He's 19 years older than me. So I needed a job when I was 15, and I just kind of naturally fell into that.
Yeah.
I'd always studied all the art and all the tech ed stuff that I could in high school. So I was already had a really good foundation in 3D art. And I never thought I'd stay there. I always thought I'd be an architect or an engineer. But once I started and I actually realized I was okay at it, and then I got good at it, and then I got pretty good at it, it's really hard to back away from something like that. Even if I lose interest in the actual sword stuff, being able to create three-dimensional art, it gets addictive. It's worse than a drug, to be honest. I don't think I'll ever stop. My hands stop working. I'll find a way to keep doing it somehow.
How much do you do 3D modeling of any weapons on a computer? Or?
Yeah, I went to college for a little while, and I did a lot of AutoCAD, a lot of CAD design, because I thought I was going to be an architect, honestly. So I do almost all of that programming we have CNC plasma cutters, we have CNC mills and CNC lathes, so there's a lot of drawing involved on those. And sometimes we're doing something magnificent, like you see us do on our YouTube show, and sometimes it just might be a groove in a blade that has to be curved, and the best way to do it is to do that CNC.
So how did your first professional sale or success, however you might define it, change the way you make weapons, if it did?
The demand on our product has always been so huge that was never a big deal until I started making Damascus, which is folded steel. I don't know if you're familiar, but that really, first time I sold a sword for a couple $1,000s that I had put months into, it made me want to stick around and do it more, I guess. We're never going to get rich in this business. If you think you're going to get rich, you should never start blacksmithing. But we're lucky enough to have the demand and people know who we are, that we can sell nice pieces. And really, yes, the production pays the bills, but the nice pieces are what kind of fuel you as an artist to want to keep going.
Yeah, you're rich in weapons, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
What role does the weapons maker have in society?
Well, I'd say it used to be an outcast, honestly. When I was younger in high school and college, I didn't tell anybody that I made swords. If you told them that, they thought you were like that creepy dude in the basement making chainmail. And that's what it was for years. But honestly, things like Pirates of the Caribbean, Lord of the Rings, they made the weaponsmith into a hero. It really helped us. And you get to see, just in my life alone, I went from the outcast. I was never really a nerd, but they would have thought I was. The few people who did know did make fun of me for it. And then they'd come to the Renaissance Festival and see that I actually had an epic job, and they'd be like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
So I'd say the role went from an outcast to like I said, almost hero status. People come up to you, and especially since we have the show, they come up to us and are just like, oh my God, I watch all of your shows, you guys are amazing. And we're just grungy guys in a shop doing a pretty grungy job, to be perfectly honest. You get to come home dirty and tired and exhausted and cold, but people really look up to us. So, sometimes that really makes it all worthwhile.
So was that like 10 years ago that it changed, it flipped 10, 15?
Right around the turn of the millennium. I think right around 2000 is when I graduated, and I think Pirates of the Caribbean movies came out a couple years after that, right? Something like that. And now it's just, Game of Thrones, Vikings, all that stuff. It's not weird anymore.
Right.
And honestly, you might not realize it when you ask somebody, when they think you're weird or whatever, you say, "Do you have a sword?" And they usually do. It might be their grandfather's, might be a piece of crap, it might be in the attic. Almost everybody has some sort of bladed weapon in their house. So
yeah.
It's not that weird.
Yeah. What movies, books, games, or other creative media in science fiction or fantasy have inspired you?
Oh man, all of them really. There's always a way. I mean, I'm a huge Zelda fan, so I love those video games. Right now I'm playing PUBG, which has nothing to do with what I do, but I play PUBG and I play Ark. I don't know if you're into that. But movies, I mean, Star Wars was always huge for me. Now there's not a lot of weaponry in that, but absolutely love.
Lightsaber.
I have a carry lightsaber on me. It's the one I made. It's got a blade that goes in and everything. Lord of the Rings, that was amazing. Not so much The Hobbit, but yeah, we have some. I mean, The Hobbit stuff, some awesome weaponry in there. Kill Bill. Luckily now we're working with Robert Rodriguez on our TV show.
Right.
He owns the El Rey Network. He did all the music for Kill Bill, so that was really cool to meet him and work with him. But I mean, if it's got a sword in it, I've probably seen it. I probably draw either negative inspiration or positive. You know.
Yeah.
A lot of times in movies, you're like, oh, come on, that's not how that's supposed to be worn. That's not supposed to be, fought with like that. But I was little. Love the Never-Ending Story, stuff like that. Flight of the Navigator, stuff like that was like my favorite movies. So I mean, you draw inspiration everywhere. When I was really little, I loved a cartoon. It was called Knights. It was like Excalibur kind of thing. Like we're a football team. You remember that? A football team got sucked into a time warp and they became the Knights of the Round Table. They kind of had like futuristic suits of armor. I freaking love that. So that might have been a big influence on me. Who knows?
Yeah. Any sort of unknown or not as popular stuff that you can think of?
Well, that's pretty unknown for most people. Unknown or not? Not really, but I probably like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a weapon you want to make that you haven't done so yet? And what is it?
A ton of them. I mean, like I said, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so some of the actual melee weapons I'd love to do, like the Vibra swords or some of the Mandalorian stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to do Chaos Eater, which is a giant sword with skulls all up and down the blade, but we just never seem to have time to do it.
Yeah. What's that one?
I really want to do the rapier from Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah?
That's something we really, really want to do, and there aren't enough requests to do it now, so hopefully we'll see that done sometime soon.
Okay. And where's the Chaos Blade? What's that from?
Hey, what's Chaos Eater from? What's Chaos Eater from? Sword? I don't remember.
All right.
Whatever.
All right. People can Google it.
God.
All right. That's actually all the questions I have. Any final thoughts or comments or...
Yeah, I mean, I just appreciate you coming by and interviewing us. Like I said before, I play a lot of video games. I stream on Twitch. My gamer tag on there is Stalkertron. Mm-hmm. Check us out on All-Me for all the Man-at-Arms videos. And, I just appreciate it. And thanks for coming by.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please visit chrisalvarez.com for more cool stuff. You can also find my website and social media information in the podcast show notes. Thanks for listening and keep imagining the future.